I do push myself to the limits a lot, but that's the way the commercial fishing is. You're gonna push yourself to the limit every year, every day of the year.
There's a man on Swamp People who, the more we see him, is known to hide things about himself and his life. Fans don't know much about Willie Edwards' life outside of the swamp, even though he has been on the show since the first season. He doesn't share much about his life or talk much. Because he doesn't want to be in the center, his fans have had to fill in the blanks. For being so quiet, he has become one of the most feared and mysterious killers on the show. You should find out what Willie Edwards doesn't want you to know while you sit down. The creepy star of Swamp People. Willie is set on catching bigger gators that pay out more. People know Willie Edwards as one of the faces on Swamp People. The History Channel has a famous reality show about alligator hunters in Louisiana. People like him even though he doesn't say much on TV. They like how calm he is and how good he is at hunting alligators in the swamp. He is quiet and focused a lot of the time, which makes a lot of people want to know more about the man at work. Willie hasn't let a lot of people into his personal life like some reality TV stars do. On social media, he doesn't say much about his family, past, or thoughts. People find him strange because of the way he lives, especially since he has been on TV for over 10 years. Fans have also noticed that stays quiet and mostly talks about hunting, even when other people on the show talk a lot. Even though he's quiet, he has a lot of fans because he is honest and steady. He doesn't try to act for the camera or make trouble, which is something that people admire. Still, many people think there's more to Willie Edwards than meets the eye because of how quiet he is and how little he talks about his life. One more thing that makes him stand out is that early life and not very good starts. Willie Edwards was born in Bayou Sorrel, which is a poor area of Louisiana in the middle of a swamp. While this area isn't known for having big towns or up-to-date infrastructure, it does have winding rivers, thick marshes, and dense forests. A lot of people have said that life there is hard, and that people depend on the land and water to stay alive. From the start, Willie grew up in a place that was full of nature. His family lived off the land when he was born. His dad, Junior Edwards, was a great shooter and fisherman, and he taught Willie the same things when he was very young. In one of the few interviews he has given, Willie said that he started going on shooting trips with his dad when he was 5 or 6 years old and learned how to check bait lines, using animal tracks to find your way through the swamps. He didn't get to play computer games or watch TV as a child. He liked to play with boats, fishing nets, and gator hooks instead. The Edwards family didn't have a lot of money or a fancy house because they lived a simple life. The swamp gave them food and a place to sleep, though. What they could catch or hunt gave them food and money, whether it's a catfish, a deer, a mouse, a frog, or an alligator. While the guys were out in the wild, Willie's mother took care of the family. The world doesn't know if Willie went to college or not, and he hasn't said either way. Rural Louisianans often have to do hard physical work or work in the swamps because it's been done that way for generations. Willie probably finished elementary school and gained practice working outside at the same time. We know that Willie didn't learn anything from books. Instead, he spent years watching his father do things and copying what he did. Willie learned early on to work hard because he grew up in a home like that. People had to get up early and work long hours in the hot sun or heavy rain every day. As a child, he also learned how to fix boats, make tools sharp, and deal with dangerous animals. These early events helped him get ready for the hard life of a swamp hunter, both physically and mentally. Back in 2010, before Swamp People started, Willie Edwards wasn't a beginner in the woods. He had been exploring swamps for more than 20 years. How he made the swamps his second home. Louisiana's swamps were more than just a place for Willie Edwards to hunt. They were his home. This is because as a child, the water was a normal part of his life. He learned things, made money, and grew up there, becoming the man he is now. For most people, the swamp would be scary or uncomfortable, but for Willie, it was a place where he had lived and where stories had been told for generations. Willie learned everything he knew about the swamp by riding in boats with his dad for most of his life. It taught him how to find his way even in thick fog, hear different animal sounds, and see movement in cloudy water. His father was his main master, and he and his brother and sister hunted and fished for food, such as alligators, catfish, frogs, and raccoons. Willie was taught from a young age that working hard and caring about nature were not choices, they were required. By the time he was a teenager, Willie was skilled enough to work on his own. He knew how to set and check lines, clean fish and alligators, fix small engines, and keep a boat going. A lot of people were shocked by how natural Willie looked on the water when Swamp People first came out. That was because he had lived that life for more than 20 years. It was all based on what he remembered and what he had done before. He wasn't acting for the cameras. He was just doing what he always did. Willie Edwards could never get away from the water. It was his school, his job, and where he felt most at ease. He made it his second home a long time before anyone saw him on TV. Getting noticed, his first album with the Swamp People. Today is my day. You have to think like them and know what they do. It's a big old alligator. Wait, we have a big one. Wow, that's a big one. Yes. People first heard of Willie Edwards when the History Channel showed the first season of Swamp People in 2010. The show's goal was to show how real alligator hunters spent their 30 days of shooting season. That was something people did in Louisiana. Willie and his father, Junior Edwards, also joined the show's cast. They were the traditional families from the swamp who had lived off the land and fished for generations. During that time, reality TV was full of people with loud personalities and flashy edits. People in the swamp were brave enough to be different. It was honest and took its time, showing real people at work. That's what made Willie different from the other actors on the show. People said they noticed him from the first few shows, not because he was the loudest, but because he was one of the most skilled and focused actors on the show. People were impressed by how calm he was, how confident he seemed, and how well he handled the boat. Willie helped kill huge alligators that weighed between 400 and 800 pounds as part of the father-son team. He was in charge of steering the boat. They checked the baited lines, catch the animal, and kill it quickly and cleanly. While some teams had deckhands to help or split up the work, the Edwards pair worked alone most of the time because that was how it had always been. It was a tight operation, and Willie was in charge if it went well. When the first season of Swamp People aired in August 2010, it was a huge hit right away. Nielsen numbers say that more than 3 million people watched each episode of the first season. Troy Landry and the Edwards family, who were big fans, got a lot of attention. Because the show did well, Willie had a following outside of Louisiana. Soon, people in other parts of the country knew who the quiet gator hunter was. Willie didn't change how he behaved, even though he was in the focus. He didn't go after popularity, didn't do Hollywood-style events, and didn't give many interviews. His father spoke for the family in a number of interviews, including one with NOLA.com, where he stressed that they were born and raised in the swamp. Willie has been going there to work out since he was little. We are still the same after watching TV. People saw how we live. As the seasons went on, Willie became a more important character. Junior said he was leaving the show after season 6 because of problems with his production deal. But Willie stayed put. For the rest of the hunt, he went it alone. Everything was his job. He drove the boat, managed the baited lines, tagged alligators, and did all the hard work himself. There weren't many other people on the show who worked alone at that level. This change made people value him even more because they saw how he could handle dangerous situations by himself and still do better than some teams. A lot of people on Reddit boards and fan pages said that Willie was the most real cast member. They said he was the most interesting to watch because he wasn't trying to be funny. Willie Edwards was one of the few original cast members who stuck with the show over the years. He had been in more than 130 shows over more than 14 seasons by the year 2024. Willie stayed the same even though the cast and production changed a lot. He kept doing the things he had done as a child, before there were cameras around. He did his job, which was to hunt gators and stay quiet. His first show on Swamp People may have made him famous, but his work on the show since then has made him an important part of its past. While most people faded away or tried to get side fame, Willie was one of the few who let their deeds speak for them. A popular book with a mysterious side. It looks like the trip deep into the swamp will go well. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Willie Edwards has become one of the most trusted and dependable people on Swamp People over the years. He has made it clear that he is not the type of TV star who seeks attention or the spotlight, and his consistency has won him a large fan base. Many Reddit posts have been started by fans saying that he is the real deal because of how he hunts. He doesn't lie or try to make things more dramatic for the cameras. He looks at the work in front of him instead, and that style has made him popular with watchers who value skill and honesty over showmanship. The fact that he has been on the show for so long is one of his biggest accomplishments. Since the first season of the show in 2010, many cast members have come and gone, but Willie has always been there. He has been in more than 100 shows over the course of 14 seasons. This also shows that not many shooters on the show have shown that much staying power. He is now one of the well-known names that are closely linked to the show's identity. One of his other accomplishments is that he was able to keep shooting well after his father, Junior Edwards, left the show after season 6. The cast of the show knew and liked Junior, but Willie showed that he could do everything on his own. Most of the shooters on the show work with a partner, but Willie talked the show's owners into letting him go gator hunting by himself, which is a dangerous job. In other words, he steers the boat, checks the lines, pulls the gators, and fires the last shot without help right away. He stands out from the other actors because he is so independent, which is often seen as a sign of toughness and discipline. Although Willie has been on TV for over 10 years, he has been known to keep his personal life pretty quiet. This gives him a mysterious edge. Unlike other reality TV stars, he doesn't do interviews, doesn't post much on social media, and stays out of the public eye when the show is over. There are a lot of fans and reviewers who are interested in this. Some people want to know more about his family, his problems, or his life outside of the swamp. Still, part of what makes him interesting is how mysterious he is. People like that he keeps his privacy safe while giving them an honest look at life in the swamp. The real story behind his family. Due to his quiet personality, Willie Edwards is a well-known face on TV, but he has kept most of his personal life out of the public eye. Some reality TV stars or people on the group of the Swamp People talk about their families all the time, but Willie has always kept his family life private. Some facts about his family have come to light over the years, though, thanks to public records and a few posts on social media. Willie is married to Sherry Edwards. They've been together for a long time. She has been there for him while he was shooting and while he was on the show. Even though Sherry doesn't appear on Swamp People, her name has been brought up in relation to Willie, especially on Facebook and other sites where she talks about her family life from time to time. Their son, Little Willie or William IV, is their most well-known child. He has done what his father did. Little Willie has been on the show more than once, while his dad shows him how to hunt in the swamp. Willie has also always valued family. He worked closely with his father, Junior Edwards. As a child and for many seasons, the two of them were one of the best teams on the show. When Junior finally left after season 6, the Edwards family tradition lived on through Willie. Even after his father left, he kept the name alive by doing the work by himself and teaching his son how to do it. Willie has decided to keep most of his home life private, unlike some reality stars. More than what is necessary, he doesn't talk about his wife, daily life, or kids. This helps to keep things mysterious and shows that he cares about keeping his family out of the public eye. Likes and comments on Reddit and Wikitubia have shown that his family lives quietly away from the spotlight while he hunts in front of millions of people. Off-camera problems and struggles in their personal lives. Willie Edwards' life has not been easy. just like the lives of many other people on the reality TV show Swamp People. The public knows about a few of his personal problems over the years, even though he doesn't talk about them publicly. These events have shown that, despite being on TV all the time, he has had problems like everyone else. When his father, Junior Edwards, quit the show after season 6 of Swamp People, it was one of the first times that his job changed. Aside from not liking the new terms of their contract, Junior and his wife Teresa told an interviewer that they were not happy with them. Junior chose to leave, but Willie stayed. This meant that he had to quickly get used to working alone instead of with his father as a shooter. It wasn't easy to become a solo hunter because he had to take care of everything by himself. He had to guide the boat, make sure the lines were tight, and catch the alligators, and make the last shot without his dad's steady help, just like they did at the beginning. The amount of work that had to be done grew, and it was hard to get used to working alone. Behind the scenes, Willie and his family have been through a lot of loss. In 2018, news came out that Willie and his wife Sherry had lost their daughter in a terrible accident. The Edwards family didn't say much in public, but Sherry did quickly talk about the sadness on social media. Fans are reminded of the real problems the Edwards family has had outside of the swamp by this painful story that is rarely talked about. Another hard thing for him has been balancing his real life with his reality TV routine. Even though Gator season is only 30 days long, shooting takes weeks to plan and hours to do. Along with his job on the show, Willie has to be a husband, father, and provider in real life. Willie doesn't live off of the money he makes from TV like many celebrities do. He still hunts and fishes for a job, even after 30 days, because the money he makes can't support his family for a year before the next season starts. In other words, he still works hard to support his family even when it's not fishing season. With all of these problems, Willie has kept a strong grip on the show. Fans often say that one of his best traits is that he can keep going even when things go wrong, both on and off the show. He has lost his old hunting partner, seen his father leave the show, been through family tragedies, and dealt with the stress of reality TV. Still, he shows up every season and quietly does his job, showing that he is stronger than the problems he has faced in his life. What wasn't caught on film? Swamp People is a reality TV show that only shows a small part of life in the Louisiana swamps. Not all of Willie Edwards' daily activities are shown on the show. The show is mostly about alligator season, which only lasts 30 days a year. But Willie's life is much longer than that. He always hunts, fishes, and works outside all year to make a living when he's not busy with the show. Many fans may think that TV gives enough for the cast to not have to work in the swamp, but that's not true. There has been a lot of talk about how the show doesn't change their usual way of life in interviews with cast members over the years, including Willie's dad, Junior Edwards. People from outside Louisiana are the only ones who can see it. Willie still fishes for catfish and hunts other animals in the swamp to make money for his family. A small part of what he does to stay alive is shown on the show. Another thing the cameras rarely show is how much work and planning goes into hunting in the swamps. Willie spends hours fixing boats, cleaning tools, and getting bait lines ready before Gator season starts. When he's not on the show, he has to take care of the gear, engines, and other tools to make sure they can handle the rough swamp conditions. People who watch TV only see the hunt and the excitement that comes with catching big gators. They don't see the work that goes on behind the scenes to make those scenes possible. Willie also works alone more often than most of the other gator shooters on the show. This is shown on the show, but it doesn't fully show the long, tiring hours he works alone without help. He has to work very hard to guide a boat, set heavy lines, and haul huge alligators by himself, which is more than one episode can show. Fans can only see a few cut-down minutes of a hunt. Willie loves spending time with his family when he's not looking for game. He has kept them out of the spotlight, which is something that swamp people don't usually get. He is known to teach his son the same things that his dad taught him. There are now glimpses of little Willie on the show, but most of their training and bond happens off camera. This private part of his life shows that he is a hunter and a father who is passing on a practice. Disputes, rumors, and guesses made online. Willie Edwards hasn't been involved in as many big scandals on or off the show as many other reality TV stars. He doesn't post on social media very often, doesn't do interviews very often, even when asked, and stays out of the drama that involves famous people. He has, however, been the subject of gossip and speculation online, just like many longtime TV stars. One of the first things people talked about on fan pages was how his father was leaving Swamp People after season 6. Jones and his wife Teresa quit the show in 2016 because they didn't agree with the producers on the terms of their contract. People thought that Willie might quit like his father, but he decided to stay instead. After this happened, reports spread that there was disagreement in the family about the choice. There is, however, no public proof that there is a serious rift. Junior later said nice things about his son's decision to keep working on the show, which showed that the breakup was about business and not a fight in the family. The rest of Willie's life has also been the subject of rumors. Because he keeps things to himself, fans often try to guess about his family, children, and income. When it was said that Willie and his wife Sherry had lost a daughter in 2018, social media was quickly filled with stories and condolences. In a sad Facebook post, Sherry confirmed the terrible loss. But the Edwards family decided not to say anything else. Most people didn't ask for more information because they cared about their privacy. A lot of people have also talked about how much Willie makes from the show online. Some websites have given rough figures of a person's net worth that range from $100,000 to $500,000. When you see these numbers, know that they are just guesses because neither Willie nor the network has ever given out official numbers. It is known that most of the cast members work in the swamps or go fishing to make ends meet, so claims that they are very rich are usually not true. It was also said that Willie was leaving the show every once in a while. This happened around season 9 and again during season 12, when the group was changed. Every time, though, the reports were proven to be false, and Willie kept showing up in new episodes. The fact that he always comes back has made him known as one of the most dependable cast members on Swamp People. While most of his reality TV peers have been in scandals, Willie Edwards has stayed out of those that hurt names. Most of the rumors about him come from the fact that he is quiet and not much is known about his life. This is because he doesn't talk much, so his fans had to guess what was going on during the silence. But not much of it has ever been proven to be true. What about Swamp People Willie Edwards didn't want you to know? If you look more closely at Willie Edwards' story, you'll see that the things he doesn't want you to know aren't dark secrets, but just the details of his life, which he chooses to keep to himself. He was born and raised in Louisiana and was trained by his father, Junior Edwards. Fans have learned a few things about him over the years, like that he has worked in the swamp since he was a boy. He's also been through a family tragedy, raised his own kids, and built a steady job on Swamp People, where he's been for over 10 years. Willie has been tight-lipped about his personal life besides those points and facts. He doesn't say much about his income and stays away from talking about his marriage. He also has never been one to seek attention or stir up trouble. For now, he hasn't said anything, which has led some people to think he is hiding something. He may have been able to stay on the show for so long without scandal, stress, or distractions because he chose to keep his life private. Reality TV stars are often consumed by the spotlight, but Willie has chosen a quieter road, putting more importance on his work and family than fame or attention. He is a great example of what the heart of Swamp People was always meant to be like because of this. A real gator hunter from Louisiana who doesn't care about press or social media fame. He or she lives by tradition, hard work, and being tough. It's possible that all he didn't want you to know was that his private life is his own, and reality TV stars rarely choose to keep it private. Willie doesn't seem interested in using his fame to get endorsements, public appearances, or attention. He seems happy to let the show speak for itself and keep his private life out of sight of the cameras. People often think that Willie Edwards is private because he doesn't talk about personal things on social media or in interviews, and he doesn't show up for events outside of the show very often. He doesn't talk about money, employment, or family issues like other cast members of Swamp People do. Even after the sad death of his daughter in 2018, Willie didn't say anything in public. He chose to grieve with his family in private instead of making the news. Fans also want to know why he stayed on the show after his parents left in Season 6. The fact that most of his life outside of hunting is cut out of the show only adds to the mystery. People may be curious about who Willie is when the cameras stop running because they don't know much about him. Some fans see his lack of activity as a sign of privacy, which adds to the rumors that he may be keeping something from them. Still, the simpler and more likely reason is that Willie really values his privacy. The attention that comes with reality TV has never seemed to interest him. Instead, he seems to be more focused on his work, his customs, and his close-knit family. In a lot of ways, being careful has kept him safe from the problems that often come with being famous. Going public has not only kept him calm, but it may also be the reason he has had such a long, steady, and scandal-free run on the show, which doesn't happen very often in reality TV. How do you feel about this story? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Please click on the movie that is shown on your screen before you leave. Oh no!